Hey, welcome back to Vice Grip Lodge. We've got some hillside raking to do today, and we're going to be using this New Holland 55 Rolla-Bar Rake, but we're not going to be pulling it with that little Ford tractor. We're going to have to get the bigger John Deere out because we got some pretty serious hillside stuff. There's a couple reasons I'll get to in a minute. Now, this is going to need some maintenance first. Weird, right? Rolla-bar tine bearing shot. We got some tines to address, and we're probably going to have to update these bald tires because the hillside we're going to, this is just going to wander off on us. First, we got to get the old Ford fired up again. It's out of gas. That's weird. Let's dig in. So we raked up everything we had with this first cut. It hung in there. We did a few small things, hardware here and there, greased it, did this and that, but we've got a tine bearing that's shot. These tires ain't gonna do much for us. They're pretty much bald. They're also weather checked. I'm not sure if they're gonna make it on the road to where we're going. We got a road it there, and that's kind of an issue. I want to fix that before we just completely destroy the tine bar or our whirling star here. I was going to pull this in quick, and this has leaked all the gas out of it. I absolutely refuse to buy the 30-cent O-ring that needs to not leak gas, so instead I just dumped $5 on the ground. 30 cents minus carry the 6. So anyway, I'm going to grab a gas jug, get some fuel, and throw it in this bad boy, just a few gallons. We'll pull this rake up to the shop, and we're going to work on this inside actually. It is 97 degrees and rising. It's not as popular of a band as 98 degrees, but it is up there. I'm on my third shirt today already. So let's dip this in there and we'll be closer to a welder. We're probably going to have to cut some metal out. Yippity-yah, blibbity-blue. Okay, it's going to be faster. Let's fire this up. So like I was mentioning a minute ago, we can't use this Ford for this particular property. This tractor is not going to have the horsepower to climb it, and I know that sounds like I'm being dramatic, but it's not. In fact, I think I'm going to try to bring an angle finder up there and see what we got going on. What was the other one? Oh, it's hot. It's really hot. And cab with AC seems a little more gooder-ish than this right here. If we don't have enough momentum or speed going up that hill, the roller-bar isn't going to roll the bars and therefore rake. I mean, I could putt up it, and you know, if I throw the Sherman at 1 and first gear and wide open like this, we can maybe climb it, but it ain't going to turn the tines. So we're going to have to use something different. Anyway, I'm rolling this down to the shop. We'll get to work on it. Well, the guy did make it in the shop. I did sacrifice everything that used to be on this pallet. Gone. That's okay. Made me put it away. Anyway, this is the big concern, like I was saying. No idea what it's supposed to look like. So I think I'm actually going to take this one apart, and then we can pull this out and see what all of this garbly gook looks like in there, and then we'll patch this thing up. And then I got some crazy bent tines. That's kind of low on the list, and also tires. We're running out of daylight as usual. Everything's last minute around here and non-stop, drinking from a fire hose, so it's hard to plan any of this. But we'll start with this. If we run out of time, we're haying. If we can do the rest, great. We got this big hole in here, and you can see where it's been wallering it out. I can only assume there's another washer or something that kind of sets in play and then lets this bearing do bearing things. Which that doesn't feel terrible. But I want to catch it before that shot. So I think, since we don't have any of this junk, can a guy just make a plate that goes here and has a circle that'll fit that bearing, and then we put that washer on the front, and then everything is fine. in theorists to see. I don't know. Let's give that a shot. So first thing I'm going to do is just clean this up, and we'll loosely take a measurement using our knuckles, and then we'll clean it up with the flap disc, and then we'll go to the table and cut out some metal, and then we're going to throw that on and weld it with a hole that this fits into, which I'll take this off and we'll measure this, and I want that to fit in the middle of that, essentially, is the goal. Guys, got her cleaned up pretty good. You know what I mean? Looks like about 14 inches by 9 inches square, and then we'll do like a 4-inch circle there in the center for that bushing. Well, here's a little plate I drew up. I'm gonna throw some air on this thing. This is a plate left over from the 35 Ford. We'll buzz it out of that quick. Now listen, a guy could easily do this out with the torch as well, but I got this, might as well use it. And it's tremendously faster. The flies are getting in here, Tony. The flies. They're everywhere. Here's our bracket. Here's that bushing. There we go. Just gotta let this cool down, clean it up a little bit. We'll buzz that on and BAM! Then we have that fixed, I think. I don't know. So I'm thinking a guy doesn't need to do any diagramical engineering here, or engineering. If we just stick this somewhere, you know, where it's centered. We can look on this side, clamp it in with the best tool ever made, vice grip, and then run a horrible weld around this. That ought to do just fine. And looking at the rest of this 3/16 steel is about darn near the same thickness. Well, it is. Look at this. Are you looking at it with your eye? It's the same thing. Okay, so let's roll all the extension cords out and get the welder over here and blah, blah, blah. Get this welded up. I didn't find any rods, so we're gonna have to MIG weld this, unfortunately. I don't know. Tell me what kind of hay is gonna break that. I think it's, I think that's on there for a while, anywhoos. So I should try to find that yellow paint Bentley had for the wheels, and you know, let's spritz this up. This isn't just a low buck operate. Oh wait, it is. Let's spritz it up anyway. Well, when in doubt, torque it out. So I just slammed it on with the 1400 foot-pound Milwaukee. Now I think I can fit a cotter key through the actual stud, which will keep the nut from backing off, and more importantly, we have zero play. So we have fixed that. So now I just got to go find a little split pin, put through there. That is fixed. Straighten a couple teeth. Nozzle. What's this take? Oh, it's got the new Holland bolts. Might as well change these tires quick if we can. Maybe. It's about 6:30. We're about to lose light. Let's start with just getting this done, fix those, and we'll make a decision. So one of these tines snagged a rock. I don't know if you can tell which one, but it's here. It's making a lot of racket. Oh, wait. Yeah. So I was going to heat it with the torch and bring it around. I think it's too far gone for that. It's even worked the hardware loose. It's been beaten off of that. See if I got one of these. Unlikely. Might just have to completely remove it. I had to do that on this guy here. So we've got a couple missing, but it's still doing a great job. And we've only got about 7 acres that need raked tonight. So I'm not too terribly worried about it. We'll have to just get her dolled up for a later date. You know what they say, take them off or break them off, but either way, don't replace it. this will work. We'll just keep running this until it looks like a hillbilly from the, you know, way up in the holler. Just one or two teeth left. The rest is wood chunks and bare spots. So let's see. Yep, nice and quiet. I don't hear that time bar bearing over there anymore. This tire, I just realized you got to pull the whole joint and everything out of. That's not going to happen tonight. Guarantee that. I wonder if we just put the one tire on in true vice grip fashion. We're lazy, do the easiest. And then at least we got a little bit of grip on one side. Maybe that'll keep her from swaying and sliding. Well, that looks great. That's what we needed. But over here we got issues. That's going to get into that bar something fierce. Big time into it. About right here. I don't feel like modifying that or doing any stuff, putting lift kit on this thing or whatever. So we're going to have to roll like this. It's kittywampus a little bit, but we can adjust that with our cranks up here, so I'm not worried about that. The biggest thing is we're going to get some bite out of this actually, and this isn't going to want to walk down the hill when we're on the side hill. I'm thinking it's 18 plus degrees. So we need something that's going to actually grab with the blown out wheel bearing assembly and hub, and not something, you know, that's bald and cracking. That's just going to slide or skid. Okay, let's drag this back over, hook it on the John Deere, and let's go do some raking. Well, the guy just panicked and remembered I had to go to Fayetteville to get a coupler, international to Pioneer, or the smaller coupler 3000 psi hydraulic fitting, before they closed because it's Sunday. And I just made it here. It was about an hour drive. Got to drive back, still get out the John Deere, hook the rake up, and we're probably going to be raking at night, which that's fine on a super sketchy hill. The hay is going to be dry. I have a good feeling. We'll test it when we get there, but I'm more so just raking it to get it into nice tight windrows and minimize how many times I need to travel up the hill. So I don't mind raking it at night, even if we have a little bit of dew, because that's going to burn off in the morning. In the morning I need to bale super quick, allegedly, and then I've got to take a 3-minute shower, change, grab a suitcase, get on an airplane, and I'm headed to another state for a revival immediately. So let's hope nothing goes wrong, everything starts, everything works. This is the coupler I needed right here. Basically big to little. I also found a Ford Raj cap. Pretty neat. Anyway, I'm hauling back home, and we'll get the JD on the NH. That was weird. And get to raking. I think Bailey or Bentley might go with me raking. We'll see what happens. Okay, we got that guy unhooked. This is sitting over here. We're going to use this mid-size John Deere. It's a 4-wheel, which we're going to need a lot more horsepower than that thing. And it's probably going to start raining. So having wipers and lights and all that stuff is going to be pretty nice. Get this cranked down. We're losing light quick, so we're going to be racing to get this done, and I ain't kidding you. Okay, she's hooked. We're ready to book. I've had this tractor into the 20s mile per hour wise on the road, so let's jam it on the highway and get over to that field. And it's getting to be duskish, so we kind of got to hurry here. Sun setting behind the Tennessee hills there. Okay, we're up by the big pond, trying to rake this stuff here. This was a really short cut down here. The cows were down here for a little bit, trampled most of this. But we're just going to use this to dial in the rake, and I think I'm going to roll all of this into one windrow, and then we're going to go up on the big side hill up through there. Down in there is where I had the skid and the 1086, lost the window. But I got to whip this up quick because I want to be doing that hill when there's still a little bit of sun. We only got about 20 minutes. So basically what we're going to do is just lower this down. Each side is independent, so it doesn't matter that we got one bigger tire. And get this to where we're in the grass but not digging. We're gonna try it right about there, and then we'll engage these things. Flip these over, so if the inside tire skids, that one won't, and on corners you want both engaged, because if the inside is barely turning on a left turn, the outside is going to be spinning faster because of a radius. So we're going to engage both here. This is already wide open. I haven't fixed that yet. There's normally a cable that runs up here, and you can pull the clutch, or not a clutch, but the gearbox if you wanted to, so you don't bunch it up in a corner, but we're not that fancy. Let's get to it. Look at that view. So we're headed up to the hillside here. I'm gonna try to rake this at an angle going up. I forgot my angle finder, but I don't know. You guys are just gonna have to trust me. This is whoa, sketchy at best. Thankfully, we're not pulling any weight here, and the old John Deere seems to have enough HPs so far. But I think we're going to come through this draw and head uphill, and that's how I'm going to bale it as well. I've seen very little grain coming through, which means this is all dry anyway. So we're not really rolling this to dry it, we're rolling this to bale it. In a sense, it was such a light cut, we got to get everything windrowed together. If I was just flipping this to dry it, we'd only do one round, obviously, because we're just trying to toss it over. But as you can see, there's not a lot of green, so it's ready to bale. So kind of a loosey-goosey plan here is to go laps uphill this way because of the way that my rake is orientated, or the way that it is, and try to windrow as much as I can that the baler will pick up. And then when I bale, I'll probably run them downhill and drop them down there. That's where we started. At least that's the plan. We'll see what happens. we've got that plugged up, but it's a good time to come out here and, well, this, but also let's take a look at the grass. Yeah, see, this is plenty fine. Got a nice rattle. But this is that hillside I'm trying to climb, and I got her plugged up. I don't think it's too, yeah, we're not too deep. Not sure what's going on here, but it was not wanting to. Uh-oh. Oh, we got a major malfunction right there. Oh no. Doubt I'm gonna be able to fix that here. So we got a tine that went on the opposite side, and this one split. So they're hosed. They're really jammed in there. That's what's stopping it. Well, I could try to reverse the bar and bend these back, but it's probably unlikely, and I don't have tools with me. So that's really unfortunate. Well, somehow by a miracle I got it freed up. Basically standing through the gearbox in neutral, jumped on this to see if we can get farther. This hillside has just been tearing up my equipment. I don't think I'm gonna hay this again. There's too many rocks, and it's just not, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. But let's see if we can keep going tonight. Well, she plugged again. And the only reason these Rolla-Bars plug is if there's a mechanical failure. And that is this. She got me. Oh wow, it's finger tight. That was lucky. I don't have a lot of tools with me, just the old Leatherman. So we're gonna delete that. Actually, I'll put the hardware in my toolbox. Where did I put that? There it is. Don't need to pick that up. Okay, now that should spin free. Our fix is working good, which is great. Got to back up, get this unplugged, row it into this. We're getting there. It's a lot of up and down, back and forth. But I've got basically this section I'm going to try to put into one big windrow. We're gonna need 3 or 4 over there, but it is getting dark on me quick. Got the lights on, doing what we can. Okay, we've got a patch over here to finish, and then that'll be it for tonight. Getting kind of hard to see, but it's this stuff down here, down towards the trees. We're gonna leave this window alone, and we're gonna drive down to the end and then get into here, hopefully. I'm also getting a little low on fuel, so that's fine. Seems normal. Let's just talk about this view for a minute. Beautiful. Not a bad office night. There's a spot up here that gets, you know, makes the guy pucker up a little bit. Got to do a J hook at the bottom of the hill, and trying to get this all windrowed together. There's this sharp turn down here. I think this might be the last time. So I'm covering the brakes, let the motor stall down, and then you gotta hook it. Oh, and lane. Oh boy. Let that four-wheel drive dig. And then we're going way up. This is basically straight uphill right now. Turbo's spooling. But I think this is gonna do it, thankfully. It's late, it's Father's Day. I'm supposed to be home grilling. The boys put together a new grill for me. I've been using the little cheapo for a long time. Well, I think that does it for raking. I'm gonna pull up somewhere flat and unhook the PTO here, or the wheel driven whatever, and then we got to put this back on the highway and road it back to Vice Grip Lodge. I gotta watch these trees here. This is probably a good spot. Okay. Got it cranked up. Should be pretty good. This is a high cut. We had hydraulic issues with the 1086, and we got a little bit higher of a cut, but that's actually okay. It's not going to get into the root system with this fescue, and it's going to grow back a lot faster, as we already see. The cows will be out here a lot faster. This is the only time I'm going to cut this. Ow. Trying to do this one-handed. There we go. The old Grip Hawk 9000 did really good. Love this machine, did really good. We lost 2 tines total, but one was already mangled, we knew that, and the other one was probably loose. I mean, look at this. I just keep running them. This one's about ready to go. Nothing wrong with it, it just needs tightened. But I'm just so busy and last second with everything. Don't have time to check all of it, but let's get back to the barn. Well, we made it back. We're parked up in the barn. That's gonna call it for tonight. Tomorrow morning, time lights went out on the old deer. Anywho's, I guess that's it then, right? Tomorrow, I'm gonna be bailing. Thanks for watching.